You're so cool!
Just a couple of silly friends talking about serious stuff.
Hello! Welcome back! And thank you very much for joining us for another round of not what I was expecting. Two friends react to Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I am Limber.
And I am Enough. And thank you everyone so much for commenting and subscribing and liking. We really enjoy talking with you in the comments, and I've been filtering them to make sure there aren't any spoilers for Limber.
Yeah, and we just really appreciate you wanting to join our little community. So thank you. Thank you.
I'm really excited to be here. How has your week been?
I had an interview go so well, I got another interview that's happening later this week.
That's so awesome! Congratulations!
Yeah. And I'm hoping that I can kind of wedge in just another interview with another company just so I can make them fight a little bit.
Yeah. Or just for the ego boost, you know.
We'll see. We'll see. I have a planned update.
Ooh.
Something isn't dead. It was a real close call. I ended up being a total necromancer. I don't really know how I did it.
That's so awesome. Fun fact, in Piedmont, California, necromancy is a misdemeanor.
Well, don't tell him I did this, because that is a live. Hang on. Let me just get this little nubbin, this little beautiful thing. How was your week? Enough.
My week was hard. I had been trying to push myself to do something that I learned I could not do with my disabilities anymore, and it's a really hard thing to admit to myself and to others, and to feel like I'm letting people down, but it was the responsible thing to let people know I couldn't do it and that somebody else needed to step in before something serious happened. So just trying to process that and enjoy my delicious garden herb tea that I made and some prickly pear syrup. It's delicious.
I appreciate you doing the hard work.
I'm excited to talk about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend though, because I'm always excited to talk about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh yeah, when speaking to this about friends, I say, oh yeah, that's totally about bipolar disorder. Like, oh, is that a spoiler? Sorry. But whew, definitely looks like its reputation precedes it, and I'm really excited to see where we go from here. Like, everything else just has felt so emotionally precise. They're really being honest with themselves about how it feels to have these feelings. And the last episode was, I hope Josh comes to my party.
Rebecca has her first successful party.
And she gets to heal a little part of herself for not having had a successful party since she was a kid. We got to see Paula show up for her kids and Rebecca support her in that. Mm-hmm. I just want to say bravo all over again to the show for giving parents the script to advocating for their children. I think that's just using the platform of television in a really beautiful way.
Yeah. You know, each week I have found myself sort of haunted by one scene and one song of every episode. And this week I found myself going back to the scene with the gamblers. And I felt like Like, I want to compare and contrast two scenes from the episode, because I think in one of them, the writers did a really good job with their messaging, and in another, not so much. It's pretty murky. If we look at the scene with Face Your Fears, Paula is giving terrible advice, right? And instead of just relying on the audience to understand that this is bad advice on their own, they make it explicit by having Rebecca talk back to her, that's not how smoke or fire work, that kind of thing. And then to really nail the point home that it's not advice our audience should follow, they have her son at the dinner table tell her explicitly, that's bad advice, Mom. So the messaging is very clear. So they're able to make the jokes. They don't have to shy away from using the jokes. They can still make fun of these horrible things and violent things, so long as the messaging that it's bad is easily understood by our audience. Because there are a plethora of news stories about people who get inspired by TV shows and movies, and they go and they do horrible things. So making sure that you as a creator and a writer are being clear about your message, it's important. And then if we compare that with the scene of her going to an anonymous something to find people, and her learning that they're gamblers and saying perfect, because she knows that she can speak to that side of them and get them to relapse into a disease, is concerning. And as an audience member watching that, I felt very confused about whether I was supposed to be laughing at the gamblers for relapsing, or am I supposed to be thinking badly of Paula? Like, Paula is sort of, we're celebrating her. She comes in very triumphant to the party. It's very confusing why we're celebrating her helping people to relapse, and encouraging them to do that. So I felt like the messaging could have been a lot clearer on that one. Either don't mock that, because that's awful, or make it clear that you're criticizing her behavior. You don't think that it's healthy.
Thank you very much for bringing that up. Yeah, that was something that I witnessed but did not acknowledge. That's an important issue to bring up, because wish we could be in a place where addictions were not so commonplace that people still believe that it was a choice.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is if you're at an anonymous meeting, it's probably pretty seriously impacting your life. That's not really something to be making fun of. At least not in that way.
But everything we do is a snapshot of where we were, and we will hopefully all be able to go over moments like this.
Yeah, I think that's definitely my hope for having these conversations, is that we are able to explore how to design media that is not only entertaining, but healthy for its audience.
Yeah, we need some better role models out there, TV. Oh, we got to see hunky boy band Josh Chan and all the projection that Rebecca was doing to just completely convince herself that this guy is gonna fix all of her problems.
Yeah. Your boyfriend is not your therapist.
You want to talk about your boyfriend to your therapist, even things are going great.
Yeah, there was something else that Josh said that really stuck out to me last episode, and that was, I shouldn't be afraid of my girlfriend, right? And that really struck a chord with me, because that's something that I have experience with. And if you're asking yourself that question, that's a big indicator that something's very wrong. Because no, you should not be. You should not be afraid to tell your partner the truth. to be open with them about where you are and what you're doing. It doesn't mean that you have to tell them every detail of your life, but you shouldn't be afraid to.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I'm glad that you brought it up, because just to leave it as is would just create normalcy around it. And I'm really glad that you're calling it out.
Paula, oh my goodness, we saw more of her home life, and the things that she says to Rebecca about waking up in cold sweats every morning, terrified about where her life is going. Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of hurt. She wants to be part of the glamour that she sees in Rebecca.
Yeah. She is desperate for some glamour, you're right. It's a great way to put it.
And they try to go together to Spiders. Owned by Mr. Spiders. But did also see Paula get real drunk in front of her kid. Oh.
Thinking about Paula, have you ever been so depressed that you were incapable of seeing possibilities that were good? Like, your brain could only see possibilities that were either neutral or negative. Like, it just thought that it had scanned every potentiality in the universe and it was all terrible and or unchangeable.
Yes.
Part of me wonders if that's where Paula's at. If that's where she was at maybe before Rebecca. I try to remind myself whenever I feel depressed that depression makes me forget that I have choices and that they are valid choices. It makes me think that things will never change. So I have to remind myself that everything changes and that there are so many more options than I'm even capable of coming up with as a human being.
Yeah. My ability to be able to tell the future does not get better when I'm thinking pessimistically. I have struggled with depression to the point of also taking what you're talking about, that there is no future, but then also believing that I had no past, like nothing good has ever happened. And this is just where I'm only ever going to be. This is where I only ever have been.
It's just a shit circle.
Whew. It really messes with your perception.
It does.
Yeah.
There's a great video by People Watching about this called Dating with Depression. And I think it is illustrated beautifully, this concept.
That's fine. Before we get into it, neither one of us are trained mental health professionals. Nor do we own Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. We are here just celebrating it, commenting on it, and hoping that you can resonate with what we're feeling.
And sometimes being critical. You sit and you think about what you did. Hit the like, comment, subscribe, all that fun jazz.
And please join us for another episode of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I'm going on a date with Josh's friend. 3, 2, 1, go.
John Paul Sartre said, "We are our choices."
Oh, no. Oh, how do I stop? Okay. Oh, thank you for stopping me.
Okay, now you know that YouTube tutorial we watched. Tony Hawk Fan 49 said if you want to stop, you lean back on your tail.
Yeah, that's only you.
Why on earth are they doing this?
I don't know.
I thought you said Josh hit the skate park with his nephew every Saturday morning.
Oh.
know they might. I just thought it might be fun to run into them, but I want to learn how to skate regardless.
Yeah, I would rather meet someone doing something that I like to do rather than trying to pretend that I can get into something with someone that I like.
Yeah, I think that you bring up a very good point. It seems like she's trying to change herself or pretend to be somebody that she's not in order to win him. I mean, I sometimes get to appreciate something new because a partner introduces me to it, but that doesn't really feel like the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this isn't authentic. This isn't something that's gonna last. This isn't something emotionally sustainable for her to continue skateboarding. This is the first time that we're seeing the mother's face.
It is, yeah.
Hey, little Becca, how are you? UTI's under control?
Anyway, I wanted to tell you that I was reading the Sunday Styles and I saw that Audra Levine just got married.
Look, I have to pick up Brendan from therapy, but it's right near the dress barn. No. Right near the dress barn. Come on, you love the dress barn. Subject is approaching and appears dejected and possibly undergoing cranial remolding. Hey, Head. Name's Heather. But, so how are you?
What do you suggest I do? I mean, what do you do when you're feeling this bad?
Oh. I know what we're doing. Guy with tiger.
No, come on.
Aww.
This guy can meet you at a bar in 20 minutes.
That's fast.
Mm-hmm. Technology.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell him yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's his last name? It doesn't matter. Okay. Can you come with me? Because I'm scared.
Okay.
Oh, what are those?
Ugh, carpal tunnel.
Oh, desk job.
Nah, Call of Duty Black Ops 3. You should check out my YouTube channel. So, what's your beer of choice?
Okay.
With poor impulse control.
Or she could be feeling very performative.
Cause I don't even know your name.
It's Jason, remember?
Shh, don't tell me. Hey, sexy stranger, come back to my place. And I hope you're not a murderer. Kiss me, baby, all over the place. And please don't be a murderer.
Please don't be a murderer. Please don't be a murderer.
Yeah. So if I don't want to give you my number, just know that this is one of the things on my mind, for fuck's sakes. Don't pressure me. Tinder guy? Jesus. I have the app. Why would you want to?
Yeah, how scary it can be to make yourself physically vulnerable to somebody who may not have good intentions and may be tricking you. Especially if you've watched a lot of True Crime and Lifetime movies.
Yeah. And now that you have met them, the expectation is to be alone with them. Potentially putting yourself at great harm. Every single time.
Yeah. It's scary.
Hey, sexy stranger, I'll be right back. I just forgot to do the dishes. Keep yourself horny, stay in the mood. I promise I'll be back. Okay, see you in a second. Bye.
With your current butter, ask yourself, are you making healthy choices? It's never too late to get the life.
Fucking better. I just want to advocate a little bit for it's not necessarily always an unhealthy choice. Sometimes it really is just exactly what you need. Yeah, if you're in an emotional space that you can just inhale the experience, exhale the experience, no judgment.
So, I have come to the decision that I need to be making healthier choices. So, I stayed up all night last night and I did some research. And now I'm into like all the good stuff. We're talking like Kabbalah, bee pollen, colonics. Let's see, I learned a ton about Buddhism. And, I'm a vegan now.
We made a deal.
You were gonna ask out Rebecca, and I was gonna ask out Olivia. And I held up my end of the bargain, like a man.
And how did that work out?
Well, she didn't really answer. She just made this, like, choking laugh sound.
Oh, honey.
I think she has asthma.
I'm glad that Greg has somebody that they feel like they can talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sounds, yeah. It's good to have somebody to listen.
The new me is making healthier choices.
You sound like that weird butter commercial.
Thank you. This juice is really starting to work.
When we're together, I feel so grand.
Oh, I really like his singing voice.
Tap, tap. When I hold your hand, why not settle for me? Darling, just settle for me. Say yes or no before I choke on all this swallowed pride. I have no problem being picked out from the bottom. If he's your broken condom, I'm plan B. So lower those expectations and settle for me.
I'm a big fan of Top Hat, the original musical that they're referencing here with Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
Oh. Oh. This is so great. I mean, I'm not really thrilled about the message or the proposal, but God, the dancing.
So what'll it be? Can you hurry up and decide? A dip's kind of supposed to be a quick thing.
What the hell is this? Well, I was reading that sitting is like the new smoking. I know, you should be walking 10 miles a day, so I got this treadmill desk, but then I realized I couldn't really do work on it, and also I hate walking.
So that was what? That was like a $2,000 mistake?
Oh, so I never heard. What's happening with you and Serrano? You gonna go out with him?
Oh, I'm still thinking about it.
Tell you what, you're helping me with my job application.
Oh, no.
I'll help you with your love life.
Are you like a love doctor? And this puppy is ready to ship. So,
that was fast.
That's easy. I think.
Oh, when it comes to talking Josh up, she's got a script. She's written this before.
Okay, healthy choices.
Pretty healthy. Like, sure, he's not Josh, but he's insulting and condescending and not really thrilled about the way he drinks.
Employees are just chill. So, someone who gets this upset about Harper Lee and, whether the book was a prequel or a first draft does not sound chill.
No.
I just think, based on this essay, you're not going to be very happy here.
Poor Josh.
So, Gregory, we are on a date.
Yes, we are.
Yes. Okay. Let's engage in some date conversation.
Okay.
Who is your favorite president?
Oh, has she ever been on a date before?
Have you been on a date before?
Oh, no!
I have. I'm just trying to be mature and responsible. Pork! Okay. So once a week, I Google trivia about the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire.
Shut up, I love that fire. That's like my favorite fire.
No, stop messing with me. I know it's weird.
Why is it weird to be obsessed with the flashpoint that single-handedly ignited labor reform in the U.S.?
Speaking of flashpoint, you're blowing my mind right now.
Stick around.
I like the prompt for people to Google that.
You're suddenly an expert on authentic cuisine? Is this like your authentic veganism?
What's that supposed to mean?
It's very funny. It's cute, the vegan thing.
It's cute.
It's cute. It's like how you became Buddhist, like yesterday. I mean, you have to admit, you're not exactly, in general, like steeped in honesty. obviously something happened in New York. You had a bit of a nervous break.
Well, it couldn't even any fucking business.
Yeah.
As long as we're being super honest, let's talk about when you asked me out and your whole settle for me vibe.
Okay, well, that's not quite how I remembered it. But the truth is, I don't want you to settle for me.
Oh, wow, we just like really worked through something there. Like adults.
Some may say healthy.
The moment he said healthy, she was already veering toward it with the word, like, adults. But when he said healthy, I feel like that triggered the pathological demand avoidance in her brain that just has to say no to a demand, and being healthy is a demand. I don't know, that's what it looked like to me.
I am not familiar with pathological demand avoidance.
Yeah, so it's a condition that often occurs in neurodivergent people where if we believe that there is an obligation or a burden that we must do something, it triggers some kind of weird rebellious portion of our brain that just can't do it, just refuses. So like when I was 18, I smoked cigarettes, and I had a guy tell me that he would quit music if I didn't quit smoking. And I just looked at him and said, that makes me want to just smoke an entire pack right now in front of you. Like that, and I could recognize that that was not a healthy reaction, and it was still the reaction that I was having. And like that has been a fairly common thing for not only me, but for a lot of neurodivergent people to manage throughout their life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sounds like a real fucking tough compulsion. I have felt that that relief of being in a healthy relationship and having a conflict and working through it.
Yeah.
Beginning to grow that trust and stability. And it just, there's just something about your heart that feels a little better.
Mm-hmm.
When you know that this truly wasn't the end. That you may have learned something about each other. And that you're on the same team.
Yeah, I think when I was younger, I used to think that if we had an argument or a fight, that was it, we were breaking up. It took me a little while to be like, no, we can sit down and talk about this. We can be adults, work through it. It's also something that I've seen people do to me to try to control me and keep me from leaving an unhealthy situation.
Oh, that you need to stay because this is clearly healthy. She's trying a new thing. Just be supportive, for fuck's sakes.
You know, nutritionists have a saying that the best diet is the one that you stick to, because it's really easy to burn out and then fail.
Oh no, you caught me.
Don't worry, your secret is safe with me.
Are you kidding me?
Hey.
Maybe she shit her pants, dude. You know, you're at a taco festival. Maybe she was embarrassed. I don't know.
Dude, nobody is on LinkedIn. Okay.
Why did he show up? That's such a weird thing to do.
That is a really weird thing to do.
You took some guy home from our date?
None of your goddamn
Like being like all adulty. That's just not me, okay? Like, I take advice from butter commercials.
No, all I can see is what this night could have been.
What's that supposed to mean? I could have been the dude walking out of your apartment.
What's up, neighbor? Come in. How's it going? Are you feeling better?
If you want to grab your laptop and take all this down, it's pretty fresh right now.
You know what? Just you get some rest, kiddo.
Yellow.
Hi, I just saw Instagram. You're at the radiology lab? What happened?
Well, I got an interview at the Aloha Tech Center like you said I would, but there was a problem with my application.
What?
Yeah, they asked me if I went to Harvard, and, like, not in a good way.
What other way is there? I make awful decisions. Like really awful decisions. I mean, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, are you Audra Levine? And the answer is, Alex, no. I'm not Audra Levine, and I never will be Audra Levine, okay?
And it's all because of you. Just thank you so much. You're, like, so cool.
She is a great lawyer.
Thank you, but...
I'm so glad you moved here, Bex.
She sounds like she's suffering from a number of classifiable disorders.
Well, look, I'm sure she is. But you know what? I don't want to label her. I just want to be her friend. This class blows. I quit.
You're so cool!
I knew I should have taken coding.
The butter is flying off the shelves, but is everything okay? I left my wife for a prostitute.
It's a big life choice.
She's a damn fine lawyer.
She's a damn fine lawyer.
And will advocate for the people that she cares about very much. Very hard. Like, she really showed up for Paula. She's really showing up for Josh.
Yeah, she's not only making poor decisions.
In the midst of her beating herself up about all these bad decisions, she really is bringing up the people around her.
That's a really good point.
I appreciate what you were saying earlier about a dietitian's advice. The best diet is one that you can stick to.
Yeah, you want to avoid burnout. Burnout's not great.
And when depression gets bad, it gets real tough to eat. And then I start getting down on myself about not making the healthiest choice that I possibly can out of every single meal. So I just don't.
Yeah.
But when you say, like, the best diet is one that you can stick to, like, yeah, sometimes diet means peanut butter on a spoon. But it's getting something that will eventually snowball into a meal. Maybe, eventually. Maybe it'll take some practice, but just... whew.
Absolutely. And... sorry, my cat's yelling at me. I know. That's something that I have really struggled with also, and it's very common for a variety of mental and physical health issues and neurodivergence, and our stomachs are really tied in with our emotions, and you know, sometimes a meal is an ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, the best you can do is relative.
I like that.
Oh, I'm really glad to be getting to know Heather. While I wouldn't ordinarily advocate for people quitting a class, she continues to stand for cool. And cool is not being ruled by anyone else's definition of success.
That's true.
I mean, come on, we're cool. We're cool. Right?
I love I love Bonker Balls. Oh, Bonker Balls isn't in the DSM-5 yet? For those who aren't familiar, the DSM-5 is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual that is used to diagnose mental health disorders. And there are a lot of conversations around the DSM and its uses and its validity and credibility.
Yeah. There's a lot of debate on whether it is the end-all be-all of how to see people. Right.
Right. The DSM and medical diagnoses also are not supposed to represent the entire, like, range of possibilities for illnesses that you could have. It's just representing what is most commonly diagnosed and understood. So just because you haven't found somebody's correct diagnosis doesn't mean that they aren't legitimately ill.
It's a darn good point.
We got to see Rebecca's mom a little bit more. Well, actually for the first time, really. Her face.
For the first time. Yeah, it seemed like there was some directorial choices about not showing her face until now.
And then over a video call.
While she was dressed as a skater. Well, Rebecca was. Yeah, and to insist upon being seen while she spewed insults. Not for the sake of concern, not for the sake of wanting to offer support, but strictly humiliation. So I think it was the right choice not to pick up the phone later in the episode.
Yeah, I like that we got to see her make a different decision.
I mean, if a lot of life changes are happening, try some on. Yeah. Try some on. You might really like it. Veganism, just go for it. Try it. Don't like it? Fine. Find something in the middle that works for you.
Who cares if it's a phase?
Yeah, and it's okay not to pin your whole identity into something that you are just trying out. Damn, if it wouldn't be just nice to be supported in making those decisions that we're not sure if they're gonna stay, but damn it, we're gonna be supportive of them.
Yeah.
Greg. All right, sorry, we made up. We made up with Greg. Did we make up with Greg?
I don't know.
Did we?
I feel like they both were out of line there.
Oh, right. I remember. Now I'm remembering at the very end when he's like, this is what my night could have been.
Yeah, I mean, like, clearly she was more out of line, but also showing up at somebody's house, like, what if she had had a panic attack or a medical emergency or something and felt embarrassed, or, like, either way, she clearly wanted space and he did not respect that.
Yeah, she texted. Like, I gotta get out. I have to get out. He's not owed what she does.
One of the last scenes there with Greg where she's saying, that thing that we were doing back there, that adult thing, I don't know how to do that. And it's like she's terrified of it. That pathological demand avoidance again. You have to grow up. You have to be a mature, responsible adult.
She's been mature. I mean, she's been mature for far too long. To the point where the last time she was truly happy was when she was 16.
Yeah.
And she spent her entire adulthood following demands, being the ideal student, lawyer, daughter, although she could never achieve what her mother's ever asking of her.
Mm-hmm.
But damn it, she wanted to try.
She tried very hard. She succeeded.
Yeah, so she's capable of adulthood but she realizes that that is not the life that she wanted. It hurt. She's crying all the time.
Or at least that version of adulthood. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you will come back to us next week for episode 5. Josh and I are good people.
We promise we're good people.
And we sure hope that you continue to engage with us in the comments. We love hearing what you have to say about the show and your lives and how they relate.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Wishing everybody well, and we'll see you next week.
Bye!